Happy World Reads Day and welcome to Tag Thursday. I celebrated today's World Reads Day by being a Quidditch player. My colors are the blue and silver, that's the movie Ravenclaw. Unfortunately, you can't get this in blue and bronze, which is book Ravenclaw, but I'll go with it. I can deal with it. Little bit. So not only is today World Reads Day, it's also Tag Thursday. First, you can say hello to my cat. She wants to say hi. Today's tag game that I am playing or participating in is the Coffee Book Tag. First, Black Coffee. It's a series that's hard to get into, but it has really hardcore fans. And for that, I have to say Tolkien. And when I say Tolkien, I mean more Silmarillion, more the Lost Tales, that end of Tolkien, more than The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. Once you're in the fandom, once you've actually managed to read and understand the books, which is really hard, the fandom is great. They're probably the nicest fandom that I've ever met. For Peppermint Mocha, it's a book that's more popular during the winter and the holidays. I picked The Nutcracker by E.T.A. Hoffmann. This is the Nutcracker that the ballet or plays, or in my case, ice show. Yes, I am an ice skater. I've been in the Nutcracker on ice. That is what it's based on. It's based on E.T.A. Hoffmann's The Nutcracker. Actually, usually it's based on Alexander Dumas' The Nutcracker, and Dumas' Nutcracker is based on E.T.A. Hoffmann's. A little bit of history nerd for you. Hot Chocolate is What is Your Favorite Children's Book? And my favorite children's book is probably The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. I have always loved The Lorax, even before the Lorax movies came out. I think it's great. Movie, there's only really the one modern movie. I think it's great, I think it's really informative, and it has a really great message. It's my favorite Dr. Seuss book, definitely, and almost definitely my favorite children's book. For Double Shot of Espresso, we have The Crossroads by Chris Grabenstein. That is a book that kept you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. This is a wonderful book. I love it, and to prove that, I'm going to read you the very first sentence. Have you ever seen a face hidden in the bark of a tree and known that the man trapped inside wanted to hurt you? Yes. To geek out for a minute though, because Chris Grabenstein was in town and I do have an autographed copy. Next is Starbucks, and that's a book that you see absolutely everywhere. And I'm gonna go really broad on this, and I'm gonna say all of John Green's books. No matter where you are, if it's an indie store or Barnes & Noble or Walmart, there is always a John Green book. Usually whichever one just came out, plus 3 or 4 others. That hipster coffee shop is to give a shout out to your favorite indie or self-published author, and for that, I'm gonna have to pick K.M. Shea, the author of The Snow Queen and the Timeless Fairy Tales series. I've only read the Snow Queen series, but it's really good. Right now, I think she's doing something with Swan Lake, judging by her last post. I hope she does. I love Swan Lake. I can't wait to see what she does with it. And she's a really great person. I'll link to her blog/website below. You should really check it out. Oops, I accidentally got Decaf, a book I was expecting more from. You've seen my review that I posted just recently. I will link to it, of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. You'll know that it just wasn't living up to what I was expecting and to how I remembered it being when I was a kid. It's still great, but it's just lost a little of what it had for me at one time, which is kind of tragic. Perfect Blend, a book or series that was bittersweet but ultimately satisfying. I'm going to say Serafina by Rachel Hartman and its sequel Shadowscale. It's bittersweet mostly because it ended, but also because of how it ended. It kind of left me wanting more, but I have a bad feeling there's not going to be a book 3. That is my book tag. My coffee book tag, which is kind of funny because I don't drink coffee. It makes me really hyper. Like, you can see me now. Just imagine me now plus hyper, plus coffee and caffeine. Like I get really hyper and anxious, actually. Caffeine makes me very anxious. Once I had a Coke, and then I informed my favorite teacher that the day I turned 18, I was gonna drop out of high school. And the sad thing is, I was so hyper, I don't even remember this. So yeah, I am not a Coke person, or a caffeine person, or a coffee person, but I love the smell of coffee. So it's kind of tragic that I can't drink it, but I love the smell of it. So that's my book tag, and happy World Reads Day! What did you do for World Reads Day? Did you dress up? I was a Quidditch player, as I said earlier. So thank you! Once again, happy World Reads Day!